Hey guys, it's Tim with another Tilt Chip Quick Take, and today I want to talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Just got to watch that one. It's the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we covered in Season 1 of Tilt Shift. And it's rated PG-13 like that one. It has many of the same characters, the newer characters that were introduced in Afterlife, and they're a couple years older now. So mainly Phoebe and Trevor, the two teenagers from Afterlife, are now growing up a little bit. And the story itself has matured a little bit in terms of being maybe for a little bit older audience. Even though it's still PG-13, the film is a bit darker and a bit, I think, a little more frightening, especially for younger viewers. So be careful about that. It would have many of the same warning cautions that we laid out in our review of Afterlife. You're talking about ghosts, so there's a lot of the same sort of warning about communication with the dead or contact with the dead. This film takes it even further in some areas, and that brings about some of the cautions I would have with this film. One of them has to do with a little, I don't know if you call it a subplot, I guess, with Phoebe. It seems like, and the film never comes out and says this, and I haven't been able to see anything in interviews where they're saying anything definitive about this, but it seems as if they are having her, they're giving a nod to the LGBTQ community, that like she seems to develop a crush on a female ghost that's about her age. But again, it's never explicitly stated in the film. It's it just maybe seems to be implied, but again, nothing definitive there. But given where Hollywood is these days, and it would not be surprising at all if that's what they're doing. And certainly a lot of people have been taking it that way. But there's several other things to be concerned about with this film. There's a lot of talk about these pagan gods from the past and treating them like real, well, as if they were real entities, which the Bible does discuss them as real entities in many cases. But the way they're treated in this is not really the way they're treated in Scripture. In these movies, they're treated as being just as powerful as any other gods of any other religion. And that brings up a different point in these films that they do, like in Afterlife, they quote Revelation. In the first Ghostbusters, the film, they also quote Revelation. So the Bible is treated as it's not mocked or ridiculed, at least not directly, but what it is, it's kind of lowered to the level of every other ancient religious text, and they're all kind of put on the same plane in a sense, that they're all just these religious texts, and you can get truth from all of them, and they're all kind of equal, which also leads to another theme that you see in this film, and it was at the end of Afterlife. There was that nice touching moment with Egon Spengler, where as a ghost he's able to come back and help them at the end of Afterlife, and then you see him kind of dissipate into the heavens essentially, and they played into that even more in this film and talked about it, and as if that's what happens when you die. Either you become this ghost until you complete your mission, and once you complete your mission as a ghost, then you get to become part of the universe. The fabric of the universe is how it's talked about. It really like a Buddhist concept, in the sense that you just become this drop in the ocean of consciousness, or of eternity, that there is no unique individuality to you, very different than what the Bible describes. So the opposite of what the Bible describes, actually, that we're raised bodily, and we'll have a physical body in a physical realm for all eternity, in a place where there's no more sorrow, no more death, no more disease, no more pain. So, Ghostbusters presents a very different view of eternity, of the afterlife. This one I mentioned before, it is a bit scarier and frightening, but not so much that it's not a PG-13 movie. There are some things that are refreshing to see. If you remember the family dynamic in Afterlife, where the teacher, Mr. Gruberson, starts dating the mom, well, they're still together in this film. They've kind of developed an unconventional family. And at first he's still the fun-loving guy, wants to be their friend, but he's the mom tells him he's got to step into this role as the dad, and he can't just be their friend. And there's a couple of nice scenes where he's trying to do that, and there's a really nice payoff at the end of the film as a result of that. So that was I think one of the high points of the film. There's also a scene that could lead to a lot of helpful discussion. Obviously, Ghostbusters deals with the immaterial part of our world, and so there is this belief that we are both material and immaterial. Although it's always been kind of unclear what they mean by that, because a lot of the ghosts that we see in Ghostbusters clearly weren't human when they were alive, and we don't know what they were. Like Slimer, what was he before becoming a ghost? I'm not really sure. But in this one, there's a scene where Phoebe is able to separate her spirit from her body for about 2 minutes, and I won't give the spoiler as to why and what happens as a result. But so there is this nod or this acknowledgement that we are both material and immaterial, and the Bible is clear that that's true, that we are made up of body and soul, or body, soul, spirit, however you want to break that down, that we're not just meat puppets, as Phoebe said in the previous movie, in Afterlife. So I'm not saying what they did there was biblical. What I am saying is that it could lead to some helpful discussions, and especially in this age where a lot of people are kind of materialistic, this film shows something different than that, and gives a good talking point, a good connection to what the Bible does talk about. Anyways, there is a lot more that could be said about this film. There's a lot of cautions, as I mentioned before, that you can go back and check out season 1 and see what we had to say about those things in Afterlife. And that's it for this quick take for Tilt Shift. And as always, I want to remind you to watch what you watch.